Hi, I'm with Clive Lewis. What do you think of the event so far?
Or looking at you, or looking at the...
You can look at whichever you like. I'm not doing a Russell Brand where we had to go on the camera together.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm not doing that because I'm too hungover.
All right.
So, we want to talk about this specific event.
Are you going to edit this down?
No.
Go on, Sam. I'm being mean, go on.
No, I'm not going to edit it.
All live
I'm going to
and
capture
raw.
every little bit of you.
That sounds wrong, but let's carry on. Metaphorically speaking, of course.
Yeah. Have I gone red? Yeah. Right. So, about this event.
So, the event is about climate change and sustainability and Labour's kind of economic transformation plan and how that's going to intersect with sustainability and decarbonisation. So, John MacDonald asked me to come back on the front bench onto his shadow treasury team, said, can you give us some idea about a route map to decarbonisation, sustainability, and we'll call it sustainable economics. So that's what I've been working on for the last couple of months with some like really kind of real kick-ass economists, scientists, climate change physicists and others to try and work out what it is that the next Labour government has to do to have a transformational economic approach to climate change and sustainability. And it's really exciting. And we're just scratching the surface so far.
And do you think that when you're in power, perhaps sooner rather than later?
When, not if.
Yes, when, yeah. When you're in power, do you think that you can get everybody on board with this? You know, are people clamouring already?
Well, it can be difficult because one of the things about the so-called thing called just transition, making the transition from a carbon-dependent economy to a renewables and sustainable economy, is the fact that many people see it as a threat to their jobs. If you've got a job in North Sea oil or in fracking or in something which is in an unsustainable industry, and understandably, if the Labour government comes in saying we're going to change all that and shift it, then you might think, well, what about my job? And understandably, some trade unions get worried about that. So one of our jobs is to put meat on the bones of what's called a just transition and make sure that those communities that are most affected have a real say in how Labour makes that transition. But yes, some people will want to drag their feet on this. Some people won't want to do what's necessary in the time frames we're talking about. We have between 7 and 9 years to halve the amount of carbon that we put into the atmosphere. If we fail to hit that target, then what happens is we don't qualify for the next 10 years where we have to halve it again. And if we fail to qualify for that, we can't qualify for the next 10 years where we have to halve it again. And that's with the net emission technologies, these technologies which haven't been invented yet, which the Paris Climate Change Agreement is reliant on, sucking carbon out. So it's a really optimistic kind of analysis that Paris has. We have to be realistic. So no more fudging. We actually want to see the science applied and the policies follow, henceforth even.
Henceforth, yes.
Henceforth, that's a new one.
Well, we're always inventing new language, and we're going to be now creating a new system whereby we can, Lee Camp, redacted, said that, you know, we've got a few years and then we're past the point of no return.
That's right, that's a 7 to 9 year limit.
The time is now.
The time is now. I am really pleased that Rebecca Long-Bailey announced the net zero 2050 target. That's a good kind of place ahead in the long distance, but we can't kick the can in the short term because we're running out of road to kick the can down. So I'm looking at shorter time frames, because it's not enough to keep talking about another 5, another 10 years. The planet doesn't have that time. We have to act now. And there's also the issue of equity, and as socialists we understand that having a fairer world is really important, but we can actually decarbonise, and understanding that decarbonisation and inequality go hand in hand. And tackling both is really important, and we can do that. So it's really exciting, and it really allows for really transformative, radical economic policy, not just, as some people call it, the politics of envy, i.e. because you don't want rich people, but because they're the ones that are the biggest polluters, the biggest emitters of carbon.
Paying off their carbon footprint.
Exactly.
To
it's about saving the species, people,
Yeah.
and all of them, not just our own. Yeah. And so it's now got an added tinge to it. There's an added sense of urgency that we need a fairer planet, a more equal society, and not just in this country, but globally.
Thank you very much, Clive.